everything into your vault of repression. You don't tell me that you're unhappy.
You could ask.
In our marriage vows.
Yes, I do remember, because all four of our parents.
Yourself, so deep in being a cop, speeding from clubs. Come on, we're rich, unemployed lesbians. It's either a road trip or we run for parliament. And I
Yes,
could
so
get into
basically, if you guys don't know, Deadloch Season 2 follows detectives Dulcie and Eddie to the tropical Northern Territory to investigate the passing of Eddie's former partner. The 6-part dark comedy series features new mysteries, and obviously the lesbian couple is the center plot once again, and also they have a very, very interesting story on Season 2 as well. So if you guys have watched Season 1, then you guys basically know that their marriage went through a lot in Season 1. They went through a lot of trials and tribulations and challenges, but obviously at the end of the day, they made it through. And obviously Season 2 is just a progress on what and how far they have come in Season 1. They have a very, very difficult, marriage, but you can definitely see that no matter what, through thick and thin, they always try to make things work between them. And obviously they are also two complete different people. They see things differently. They want to do things differently. They have different views and opinions regarding everything, but some way, somehow, that also ends up, affecting a lot their marriage and what they have going on. So that's basically what Season 2 represents. But obviously for you to understand the progress, that they have in Season 2, you have to watch Season 1, in my personal opinion, so that you guys can get the full context on what Season 2 represent in this case for their marriage. So basically, following the events of Season 1, Dulcie and Cath moved north, with Dulcie attempting to balance her new investigation into a local elimination while also trying to maintain a healthy marriage. After Season 1's revelations about Dulcie's past affair, the couple is showing working through their trust issues. Cath previously controlling behavior is reaction to the past betrayal that she obviously, have received from her wife Dulcie because of the cheating. And also at the end of Season 1, you can see they got into this huge argument, where I thought, their marriage would end, but obviously they have decided to move away from the town that they were in to go to have a fresh start somewhere else. But obviously now them arriving, at this new place, you can see that, Dulcie, she once again just gets into this box where her whole life is only about investigating, just being a full detective. Obviously, you can see that Cath, she has a different view and different prospect regarding that. She wants them to do something else. She wants them to retire, to be unemployed and just take like their truck and, just go around the world and explore and just be free and not having to worry about work, because, she feels like they are at that moment in life where they just need to not work and just have fun and just disconnect from everything that they have going on. But obviously, on the other hand, her partner Dulcie don't see things that way, and especially with this new case, that she's investigating, and obviously it's also a very difficult case for her because it does involve Eddie, and Eddie, how can I say, is a very important person for Dulce, and now they are in the situation that you can see that they are holding on to their marriage because both of them were at the point that they both were going to explode and just probably give up. But they went through a lot of trials and tribulations, the same as they did, in my personal opinion, in Season 1. So you can see that Cath's vision for them was to already, like I said, move away. Dulcie, on the other hand, she doesn't want to. She's just so involved in this case, investigating. Then later on, she had to make a very difficult decision when it came to Eddie. Obviously, you can see that, Cath, she was against that decision because she felt like, Dulcie, she was portraying someone that, is family to them. But obviously, at the end of the day, you can see that Dulcie basically just told Kate, like, at the end of the day, work comes first. It is what it is. And if this person is innocent, then, they will have to prove their innocence. I'm just doing my job and going according to protocol. Obviously, that left Cath very, very surprised, that attitude that she had, because at the end of the day, you are talking to somebody, that didn't commit this crime, but you insist that you still have to play by the books. So they, like I said, they have a very different perspective. But one thing I have to say is that Cath, she really likes and loves Dulcie. You can just see how patient she is, and obviously she always wants things to be her way. Like Dulcie has to follow her protocols. Dulcie is very patient. There's a lot of things that I probably felt like she wanted to tell, Cath, but she never did because she never wanted to make, Cath feel a type of way. She just holds on to a lot. She doesn't speak her mind a lot. And you can also say that it can also be like a very troubling situation, in my personal opinion, when it comes to their marriage. So later on, as you know, there was a moment where they had a very deep conversation, and there's when Kath basically told, this case Dulcie, hey, like, you need to just disconnect from your work. I know, you've been through a lot, but you just make everything about work, and you don't see how this is affecting us, how this is basically more of the story and trying to sum things up, how this is affecting our marriage. You just work. You don't even, make our quality time. You don't even, listen to me. And they just went through, like I said, a very complicated stage in their marriage where they want different things. Like I already said, one wants to keep working, the other one wants to be free, and for them just to go away and just, explore life without having to worry about, working. And obviously, by the end of the season, after the case got solved, after everything that they went through, after the highs and lows, after Eddie, the situation was figured out, and, the innocence prevailed of her, obviously, you can see that, there was a very important and emotional turning point for, in this case, Dulcie, where she have decided to listen to her wife. There was the moment she realized that, hey, maybe I do need a break. Maybe I do need just to disconnect myself from my work, because I don't want to be in a position where I lose my wife, where I lose the one person that's there for me through thick and thin. And also that I felt like she came to a point where she realized that, her work is taking over her whole life and her whole identity, mentally, physically, emotionally. And especially after this case that they went through, it was like a breaking point for her, where she realized that, yeah, it is time for her to move forward and, just go away with her wife and, do that plan that her wife have sent up, in this case, for them, or prepared for them to do after, employment. So that's exactly what they did. They took the truck, and, you can just see there was a moment where they were just driving in the truck. You can see that, Dulcie, she was just so relieved, and she was so, like, I won't say uncomfortable, because it was just a new reality for her. But you can just see, Kev just, how can I say, hyping her up and just telling her, like, hey, just enjoy. Like, we're not working, we're taking our truck, we're exploring the world, we are doing our thing. Let's just enjoy, and let's just be happy. And, and whatever comes next. And I'm so happy that at the end of the day they didn't give up on each other. Especially after season one, I had my doubts that this couple would make it through. I really, really, really had my doubts, but, I'm so happy, that they did. And in season two, we can finally see like a healthy stage of their relationship, of them rebuilding and sticking together no matter what. So there was also something very beautiful to see, in my personal opinion. So if you guys want to watch it, and if you haven't watched it, I will highly recommend all of you to go to Prime Video, and there you will find the 2 seasons. This is an amazing series, so go watch, go support. It's very, very good, and me personally, I enjoy every single moment of it.